Hey guys, my name is Will, owner of Rocky Mountain Computing, and today we're going to be taking a look at the TECWARE VEGA L. It was a case that was given to me by a friend. All the links on their website to where you would purchase it, such as Amazon and Newegg, kind of lead you to nothing, so I'm not sure of the price. Seems like a budget case, but yeah, I'm just going to give you my thoughts on building in it. Hard to kind of gauge the value of it because I don't have anything to compare it to, but let's take a look. So, first impressions is it's not the best case, but it's not the worst. And it's hard for me to gauge because of the fact that I don't know how much it originally sold for and how much you can get one for today. It is not the worst case. Comes with 4 RGB fans pre-installed, tempered glass side panel, full ATX size motherboard. Good enough, and especially if you got it at the right price, I'm sure it would be considered a phenomenal case. Technical specs of the case are 300 millimeter max GPU length, 160 millimeter max CPU cooler height. Your power supply max length is going to be 250, and that's without the hard drive cage for the 3.5 inch drives. I did find it a little bit tight to work in. I was given this case, so when I received it, there were some things that weren't with it, like the front mesh cover for the fans, and the 3.5 inch bay was already removed. So I would say building with that 3.5 inch bay in there might be a little bit of a squeeze. I don't know if I would like to build in that case with the 3.5 inch bay. I feel like it would get a little crowded down below. I'm sure it would still be fine, but probably a lot of jumbled cables. And I just went with the Thermaltake BM2, Smart BM2, 650 watt, 80 plus bronze, standard size, nothing, semi-modular, nothing too fancy. And yeah, without the 3.5 inch bay, fit in there nicely. All those cables, the extra ones, I don't know, again, if you had this case with the 3.5 inch bay, how many of those you'd be able to get in there. But then again, how much are you putting in it anyway? There's no 2.5 inch bays on the back, so not really anywhere to install a 2.5 inch drive. And again, it's really hard for me to gauge because what you're getting is not a horrible case, but it depends on the price. Really, it all depends on the affordability of cases and what they have to offer. And I don't know where to buy this one brand new. On their website, there are links, but they don't lead you to anywhere. They, Amazon link, Newegg link, takes you to their store page, but all TECWARE sells now is keyboards, looks like. And, maybe some other stuff I don't really know. But, standard install the power supply. Enough room for, the motherboard cable, the CPU cable, your GPU cables. Good enough space for the USB 3.0 and, your standard USB HD audio, things like that. Does have a little fan controller. I believe it came with a remote too. If you are to get it brand new, I believe it comes with the remote. Again, I didn't have the remote when this case was given to me, but the fan header's nice. I think it has ports for 6 fans, which is what the case can hold. It can hold 3 in the front, 2 on the top, and then 1 exhaust fan. And I didn't bother putting any extra fans in here. I just wanted to build it as is, close to the stock layout of it. Again, it was given to me, so I didn't have the I/O covers for a couple of the PCIe ports there, but that's okay because it got filled with a graphics card and a Wi-Fi card. The fan controller is ARGB, so if you have an ARGB header on your motherboard, you can adjust it through the software on your motherboard. This motherboard didn't, it just had your standard RGB, so it was the 4-pin instead of the 3. And the header, or not the header, the controller also has a plug-in for an LED button on the case to cycle through the colors. So that was a bonus. You know, still different options for color combos. If you don't have an ARGB header or you lose the remote, you can still adjust the RGB on the fans with the button on the case. You know, good enough room to work in. You know, again, it might be a little tight if you had 2 exhaust fans at the top. But with the layout I was working in, everything was fairly easy to move around in. Nothing too crazy. Definitely, you know, get all your components into the motherboard before you put it in there. It's a lot easier not having to work in the case. I don't know how much I would want to work in the case. Cable management was good. Not too many spots to tie off your cables, but there are a couple, enough to, you know, enough to make it look pretty clean. Depending on what you have coming out of your power supply, it definitely can get a little jumbled underneath there. I believe I just had standard motherboard connector, CPU connector, one PCIe connector, and then a Molex. Unfortunately, the fan controller is powered by Molex, so I would have rather it been SATA, but you know, again, I don't know how old this case is either, and it is like that, and a few other cases are on their website with tech specs and, you know, all of the good stuff. However, I don't know where to buy any of them. You know, it's always tight plugging in your HD audio, USB 3, and you know, didn't seem any smaller than, you know, any other case. But I definitely wouldn't want to work in this case too much. You know, the case is like $40. Comes with the 4 fans rather. And, you know, if that's, you know, 40, 50, maybe even $60. I don't know, for 60 I think you could probably find a better case. But for 40, 50, yeah, it's definitely not the worst case. You know, the rigidity of it seemed pretty solid. The front is tempered glass, and then there's a little perforation on the sides. It's sloped, and there's a little perforation on the sloping, which is you know, adds a little bit to the airflow, but probably nothing too crazy. There's definitely other cases that would provide more airflow, better cooling, and, you know, just probably an overall all-around better experience. But once you get everything in there, you know, kind of tie it off some on, like I said, it's limited places to tie it off, you know, for cable management, but it's, yeah, it's, you know, you can kind of make it look a little clean back there. And, again, the technical specs are, you know, you're looking at a 300 millimeter max GPU length I'm using in this one, it's the MSI RX 580 armor. So I don't know. Let's see. Let me just look up the exact specs of that real quick. It's definitely not 300 millimeter. That's for sure. So the dimensions of that are 269. So it's close. You know, 269 length, and you can see it's pretty close there. But it'll support up to 300, is what it says on their website. CPU cooler will support up to CPU cooler height 160 millimeter. I'm just going with the stock AMD Wraith cooler. The components in this weren't anything too special, so it'll be enough to cool what's in there. And that card is good card, RX 580, good, you know, good little rig, and it all fit. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video helpful and useful. Not sure where to get the case, but if you can get your hands on one, or you know someone that has one, or you can find one yourself and you're curious about what it's like to build in, or you just enjoy watching builds in different cases, I hope you found it enjoyable. If you did, like, subscribe, share it if you know anybody that has the case, or if you're just wanting to show awesome builds to your friends. And thank you again for watching. Drop some comments below if you'd like, case ideas, different stuff for me to review. I enjoy building anything and everything, and I'll give you my honest take. So thank you guys so much, and have a great day.